foldable antenna. This antenna is only a rubber pole and has nothing inside. On the front, there are trim buttons for steering and throttle. The power button is here next to the steering. And this is the release button to eject the battery tray. Flip it to the back and there are more buttons. These are steering and point adjustment, which act more like jewelries because they adjust to both left and right. Next are steering reverse and throttle reverse. Here is a button with power written on it. According to the manual, it will change the power output of the transmitter to extend the range or when there is interference. There is also an ABS button for anti-lock brake, but it doesn't work on this car. Here is a buy button, so it can buy to other cars or receivers. And finally, a reset button to reset all the settings, because it doesn't have a screen. Having a reset button is very useful. There is a very dim red LED to indicate that the transmitter is switched on. The advertised range is 100 meters, which is far greater than you can see for a car this small anyway, except of course if you want to use it with FPV. The protocol is unknown and the manual only says code type is FSK. Now that we have looked at the car, it's time to go for test drive. Let's start with touring. Handling is pretty decent for this type of suspension as stock springs. It handles bumps really well. The tires are also pretty good, but the grip is gone once they picked up some dust. However, it is not powerful, so it doesn't spin out that easily. Turning circle is not bad either, but they are not the same from left to right, as I said earlier. Now let's take a look at lap times. This is a bit surprising. Once I get used to the car, it is really quick to get round the track. It doesn't have too much power in the first place, so I can just go full throttle almost everywhere, and the result is stunning. This car is really slow, but it is surprisingly fun to drive. There is some headroom to upgrade the motor, but putting too much power into a car with this suspension and it is going to roll over in the corners, so I wouldn't recommend putting too powerful motor in it. Now it's time to go drifting. The included drift tires don't even fit on the wheels properly. It can only turn in to one side, because on the other side, the steering angle is not high enough for drifting. However, once it starts sliding, it is kind of alright. The problem is it can't go into slide that easily. So I decided to literally slap some money on it, and it got a bit better. And then I found that all tires don't touch the ground evenly. As it turns out, these drift tires are not good. So I tried putting Kyosho drift tires on it, and it drifts a bit better than before. Combining these tires with weight at the front, and it is okay to drift. It is just okay, not good in any way. It is still not precise, but at least it doesn't kick the car out the other way unintentionally. Some upgrades to fix steering angle and drivetrain would improve the handling immensely and make this car fun to drift. On to the good, the bad and final verdict. Regardless of quality, this is a very good package. It comes with everything you need to start both touring and drifting. It also comes with spare gears to change wheelbase. Even though parts quality is not good, it is surprisingly well built. The wheels are not over-tightened from the factory, so you can just open the box, put the batteries in, and experience the terror of imprecise handling and no brake. The overall design is good. I like the center-mounted servo and motor. The kingpin suspension design is simple and quite primitive, but there is nothing to go wrong there. It is a proven system that works nonetheless. And exactly because of this simple design, the car is very rigid. But for $86.99, it is really expensive. Under this, I can see a good chassis, but the electronics let the car down massively, and the plastic bushing doesn't help either. After a bit of upgrade, it could become a good car, but it is already expensive that I don't think it would worth the price. Sure, ball bearing upgrade can be cheap, but electronic upgrades to fix servo throw and responsiveness is going to be at least another $30 to $40 for 9G servo, brush ESC, transmitter and receiver. You really need a clear goal in mind before buying this. Either that, or you have abundance of spare parts lying around. The best thing about this chassis is that it can use mini-Z all-wheel drive body without modification, or having to worry about compatibility such as wheelbase, width or wheel offset. Just a quick spur gear replacement, changing wheels, front lip, and you are ready to put a mini-Z body on it. If you want a car with more sophisticated suspension and don't care too much, if not at all, about using mini-Z body, you might want to shop around a bit more. On the budget side, there are W128, like K989 and K969. They are nice cars if you got time to fix out-of-the-box problems. And then there is Mini QQ7 if you want an excellent car with good mini-Z body compatibility and tons of adjustability, but also some added bonus of QC issue here and there. All that being said, this car is quite fun to drive, and I can see myself bringing it with me wherever I go, because I can just chuck it in my bag along with the transmitter. Nickel metal hydride rechargeable batteries are also very safe and easy to carry without having to use a fireproof bag, or having to worry about if anything would poke the battery pack, so I can throw them in my bag along with the car without a care in the world.